we are. 5 more days to go till election day. And, well, the candidates, I guess Trump's coming to Greensboro again within the next 5 days. Uh, it's intense. The nonsense is intense. Uh, just goes crazy. And then, like the title says, the conspiracy experts or whatever um, are now saying that if Trump wins the election, the CIA plans to create civil unrest, meaning that they believe they're the ones that caused civil unrest before the last election. I guess they can just produce protesters and riots at any given moment. Uh, so the thing is, if Trump wins, supposedly, I didn't even watch the video, the CIA will not let him take office. So sometime between the end of the election or right before he's supposed to be sworn in January, there will be civil unrest and some kind of thing where they can declare martial law throughout the land and stop the election. So, okay, this sounds frightening and might be true. It's on some people's minds to do this. But here's the thing, how can one branch or part of our government, the military intelligence, uh, declare martial law, and how would they take over? Are they going to just have martial law forever? Okay, I mean, how does it's like saying, Parks and Recreation Department is going to run the country because of forest fires, you know. And it's kind of like going back to December 6th. December 6th. What happened was people did not like the elections and people had a feeling that there was election fraud. Okay, which now weird things are leaking out that maybe there was. So when the people went to have a peaceful demonstration and fill the streets of Washington, D.C., I remember there was somebody, you could not take pictures. They had some sort of thing where you could not broadcast, you couldn't get on Wi Fi, you couldn't send pictures from your phone or any of this other stuff during that, which was kind of odd to me. And one person from a hotel room up high was there with his phone saying that he got outside of the barrier at a distance and was just showing that it was a peaceful demonstration. Now, the stuff we've seen on TV, a little hard to believe. Tell me that they don't have security and a group of 10 people all by themselves, or somebody's filming them doing this also, can break into a window in a federal building, and then go in there and vandalize the place and all this other stuff. And mysteriously, certain people were arrested. I know, unfortunately, one individual, a woman, was shot and killed. Uh, but nobody ever has explained who the people were that I guess they said they were trying to overthrow the government. Okay. Who were the people trying to overthrow the government? And if there wasn't there a, some sort of investigation, or if there was an evil plot, 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 or if there was Don't we have enough electronic surveillance on everybody and their brother to know who this is? And really, very strange bunch of actions of some people being arrested and stuff. But nobody ever said, well, okay, we arrested these people, and this is how they all fit into this plan or this action that was taken against us, which threatened our country. You never heard nothing like that. You never heard any type of an explanation or anything that makes sense, which generally means if somebody explains or does things or says things or omits explanations, generally they're lying. You know, and yeah, I don't know. And again, to put this out, it's like somebody said in yesterday's chat that they're going to a wedding and they'll be flying back on election day, and they have cause for concern because they don't know, and it's kind of true. You know, they did have riots in Greensboro at one point. There's something happened downtown, and of course, it happened in the district where City Hall and all the office buildings are. And basically, a bunch of rioters came, had rocks and stuff, and then smashed up a bunch of. Basically, there's restaurants, clothing stores, like any downtown city area. What's going on there? The shops, boutiques, or restaurants, food places is all geared for people working in the office buildings down there. They had a parking garage, and that's basically there. The park. There's a park downtown. Okay, um, and kind of why they or where these people came from. Just all of a sudden, there's a riot and they tear the town up. You know, and they all go looking to the mayor. Hey, what happened? My business has been destroyed. And that did put some people under. Okay, between the plague and uh, these riotings, a lot of people who were small business owners, and basically they were in the restaurant business or food business, um, did go under. You know, see, voted yesterday, provided my driver's license, voter registration card. They didn't want my voter registration card. That was a first. Hmm. I don't even know if they issue them. I guess see, it's all tied into your driver's license, like a concealed carry permit and that. I have one. But if the cops run my license plate when I'm on the highway and pull me over, they already know when they run my plate and get my driver's license that I'm a concealed carry permit holder, whether I show them the frigging card or not. They know that. Okay, they tie it all in somehow. But voter registration card, usually when you vote, you're in there. I remember the logbook used to be printed out, and you used to have to sign on a page in the book. If you were a registered voter, your address and all of that was there. Okay. It's just, I guess, the reason they don't do that, or some states still do it. If I go to a polling place and I don't have ID, I can say I'm my neighbor who passed away 3 months ago and go vote. You know, uh, so to force you to show your driver's license, and the fact they said that it's racist to make people show their driver's license. It's like somebody did prove that, and that's a load of crap. Okay, but that's what it is. Yeah, like I said, it's tied into your driver's license. Mail-in voting. I guess some states all they do is mail-in voting. Okay, here I guess you have to request it. Uh, be it that you're living or working out of state. I remember you could do that. Like when I was in the service, I could have sent a letter and requested a mail-in ballot, you know, or whatever. And if you're working out of state, some people, their home state is here. Excuse me, but their job may keep them on the other side of the country, and who the hell is going to jump on a plane and fly to vote? Idaho gets 4 votes, all of which go red team. I think we voted 98% Republican 2020. Yeah, so that's the big new conspiracy thing. And I think it's more just to add hype and frighten the hell out of people. Maybe these people do have ideas like that. The Russians admitted when they did a TV show that because they knew the United States could outproduce them and have an edge in a nuclear war, uh, the one guy admitted, he said they came up with a doomsday device. Okay. And what they did is took a old freighter, a ship, and tore the insides out and just lined it with fissionable material, you call it, and made a gigantic atomic bomb in the hull of the ship. And the idea was that the ship would be in the middle of the ocean. And if they were attacked, they'd detonate this thing. And the nuclear explosion would just vaporize water and make this radioactive cloud that would encompass the whole Earth and destroy all life on the planet. Somebody come up with a whacked out idea like that, and they were building this thing till they stopped or something. So yeah, there's people in all these governments. There's some pretty whacked out bastards, and a lot of these weird ideas uh, come up. Okay, and it is documented that it was true. I don't think they ever completed it, but there was a plan to build this. All right, which who the hell in their right mind would make a device like that or even attempt to start building it? But you know, they did. It goes to show you can't trust nobody. Oh, and then the other thing, another big outcry that they've killed. What was that? Okay, let me see. Uh, American soldiers killed fighting the Russians. Yeah, deep state and that. But yeah, now they're saying that we sent active duty troops over to the Ukraine, which there were for years training people that has gone on. But this again on redacted news. Obviously, they said, or what it was is a group of individuals, the Russians ambushed and killed this group of individuals. And looking at the weapons, they were all U.S. weapons or something. I've seen some of it. And the thing is, they wouldn't show it or how it was edited, but I'm looking, there's these shoes, and I'm wondering, what the hell are the shoes? They're dead people laying on top of, in front of all this equipment. And they show a picture, they pull up a guy's shirt and his arms, and it had like an angel with its wings folded and a U.S. Army Ranger tab tattooed up on his bicep. And, it's like he said, could it be an ex serviceman or whatever? But they're saying no, that it's actual active duty people in there. They've been killed, and they make their family sign a non disclosure agreement so they could get the death benefits and all this other stuff. And they can't speak of it. They won't tell them where the service member died or how, but it's just, your son, husband, father, whatever is dead. Okay. How true all of this stuff is, I have no idea. A scenario like that, I would not put past our government, or even in the past when I was in the service. Fortunately, the job I had didn't involve me in any kind of that bizarre stuff. Um, but, who knows? Uh, let's see. We're going to proposition number one, which ranks choice of voting, being inaugurated by the influx of the Blue Party. Okay. I didn't think felons could vote. I don't think they can. Yeah, they aren't supposed to, Joe. My point is the system isn't exactly up for honesty. Yeah, I don't know. And really, everyone's tired of it. Like I said, Tuesday when we were in the Legion in the club room, something was carrying on the TV, and they said, just change it. We're tired of hearing all of them and what's going on again. And then I seen something online that Trump's coming back to my state once again to have another rally within the next few days. I don't know if it's this weekend or what, or what's going on. Yeah, I might. I see, like today, I got a few things ironed out. I was trying to get some more content up. I did get some content up in my little shooting thing. And actually, I was going to sit down and discuss three different firearms and my opinions on them. The Turkish shotguns get a huge amount of views. A lot of the other firearms that are like on sale that I'm getting, most people make a billion videos of them. Kind of like the P15 there from Caltech. Um, I found, see, and that's why I got the thing, because I found it came out 2 years ago. There was a whole slew of videos somebody made 2 years ago touting this gun, and got a hold of these guns early. All these pistolero experts and channels where they go to the shot show and interview people, and there's several of them. Then about a year ago, because it must have been, it's something new. It wasn't around. It was hard to find. And then finally, about a year later, they were out in enough quantity to where there was another wave of people with these guns and going on about them. And now they're in the bargain basement, been on sale. A $480 MSRP gun for 230 bucks. You know, why? And it's not a foreign made gun. You know, Caltech, the prices on their stuff has always been somewhat high, especially when something new comes out. But live on the election, yeah, I'll go live sometime during the day, but um, early in the morning is, you know, the polls ain't even open. And I did go past the early voting polls on the way to the post office. I had to go to the post office this morning. Now, earlier in the week when I was down in town there were cars going in and people standing out in front of the building. I don't know if it was close to noon or something, uh, but you know the parking lot had cars in it for the community center, and there were the people, you know, out in front of the building. It should be there, but there wasn't a line. There wasn't a lot of activity. Of course, time I went through there around lunchtime, you're probably not going to see many people. But I guess so many millions throughout the country have already voted. Okay, so morning probably wouldn't be alive. Afternoon, or would you rather have me wait till the evening when it gets crazy? Because I really don't know what we're doing. I don't know if my wife wants to go to the club and have our free pizza dinner again or not. She wasn't too happy when they suggested I run for commander. So now she's a little upset and wishes for me to stay away from the organization. Good to see you alive. Yeah, I probably will, Tom. What time of day, for how long, or whatever. Probably will. And probably the day after is when you want to go live, you know, and see what the results are right there, what is going on. You know, election day is going to be kind of thrilling, but I think it's the day after election day, and probably will uh, do that because that's when there's going to be something to talk about. You know, because you know, I wasn't invited to the exclusive election day banquet or whatever kind of weird party my one buddy's uh, doing. But see, that's another thing. How many days after? I don't know. They're speculating it may take a time. They might not declare a winner. You know, how many days was it till after the last one when they were counting tractor trailer loads of paper ballots and that? Yeah, I mean, generally they'd have a consensus uh, pretty pretty much early back when things are run differently. And it's like Tom saying, it could be weeks. Okay, because I forget what elections were going on where they were counting paper ballots. They had some kind of punch card thing or something, and they were recounting ballots for over a week, for quite a few days. So yeah, I kind of don't know. I don't know if they'll announce it, you know, unless the only way they would do that, unless, you know, the numbers, what they're saying about it being neck and neck, you know, they like saying that. Unless that's all total lie and it's blatantly obvious, and he already has the uh, electoral college points to win, And, because there's a certain point, I forget, if you get a certain number, even if these other states don't count, if you hit a certain number, even if the other person gets those votes from the other states, they won't have enough. It'd have to be a situation like that. But they're going to contest it. It says many machines are malfunctioning. See, I looked it up. We don't have them uh, machines. I looked up what we have in North Carolina. We don't have Dominion machines. Because somebody brought that up, and I did look them up. And that's not what we use. Okay, 270 electorals, and there's once you hit that number, it don't matter at that point. Okay. I knew there was something that once you hit a certain number of the electoral votes, it's over. You know, once those are confirmed and verified, during the election. I guess that's what they call a landslide. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to discuss that with my wife. But I will probably go live on election day, maybe in the afternoon like this, and we'll just see how things are. Because you got to, from most of you fellas that always show up all the time, we have pretty wide coverage of the country. Idaho, Michigan, Wisconsin, a couple guys from my state, some fellas from Florida. Uh, so to see who's got what going on in their state, would be uh, pretty good. Or if the unrest is started, I think the unrest isn't going to happen immediately. That's planned for you know overthrow season. Before the inauguration, I guess is when. Uh, see, worries me to think they will stop counting at night when Trump's ahead. Yeah, that's kind of happened last time. Uh, there were accusations of a lot of strange things going on and things being done at the polls where certain people were not included or kept away. But then again, if you challenge that or said that after the last presidential election, I mean, if I was just talking about it in a live like this, they would shut the live off and either remove my channel or give me, I wouldn't be able to do anything for one time it was 90 days, I believe. I was locked out of YouTube because it's when we had a live at the end of the plague season, and I was saying it was all a bunch of BS and this and that and everything else. And we kind of got worked up. It was one of them Sunday ones where we were drinking a little later in the afternoon. And after I cut that live off, by the next morning, that live video was removed. And because I got hit with one of these, I had a video out there that was 2 years old. And because they changed the policy, I got a strike uh, for 80% receiver completion. I didn't take it down. That's why I had to sit down. I had to sit down once and delete over 100 videos. Anything to do with modifying an AR, anything to do with 80% receiver, anything to do with discussing an 80% receiver. I had to eliminate all of them. But I found out when I hooked up with one of the, I think I had BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble, and I had it set up where them videos would automatically over a few days load up onto those other sites. So some of that work is still floating around out there. And Odyssey, I think, is the one that was pretty good about it. Rumble, a bunch of it went there and it kind of got hung up and wasn't listed or something. It kind of pissed me off. It's a lot of time and work in there. And those videos got a lot of hits. Uh, Sounds like Kennedy's on the ballot. Some states, 200-year anniversary of the House of Representatives picking the president. Could it happen again? Don't know. Possible 268, 268. Michigan Secretary of State says 800,000 voters will have been removed in the last few years, but we still have 550,000 left on the rolls that are ineligible, that won't be removed until. I don't know. That's strange. Okay, and Michigan's another state that is hit. It's up in the Rust Belt, and ever since they shut down all the industry, these states are broke. Okay, and I mean it's New York State or upstate New York. Well, New York City's New York City, and nothing's ever good there. But the rest of the state, and I think how the hell it worked, it's like 85% of the population live within a 100-mile radius of the center of New York City, downtown Manhattan or whatever. Um, it's very disproportionate in New York. And up where I come from, it's like abandoned, and more people are leaving the state. And that's why when these states have this issue where people can't live there or earn a living no more and they move before they end up being homeless. Okay, the smart ones settle up, get out, and move somewhere else before you're living under a bridge or something. Um, these states have issues, and this is why a lot of these foreigners are coming in there. What they're calling, see, they say illegal immigration, but these people are refugees. These people have status. Okay, so they're not illegals. Okay, if the government has given them permission to stay, given them refugee status, these are not illegal immigrants. Okay, see, this is where they're confusing the hell out of you. They're bringing these people in for a purpose, and they are not being classified as illegal. There probably are some people that floated it in the damn country and running loose all over the place, but a vast majority, see, this is where you're going to get um, this is where you're going to get a lot of issues, no matter who wins. Okay, uh, it's a serious issue, and now they're talking. I guess my wife was upset that if you get a pension, like she'll get a pension when she retires, they want to vote a law in saying that you won't be eligible for Social Security benefits. You won't get your Social Security pension because you have a private pension. Okay. Um, then another thing, I ain't to the point where I'm forced or must go on to Medicare, but a couple of the guys I know were telling me how it works, and you got to buy the insurance through someone, and they just lower your uh, monthly benefit. But then, you know, I have to go find another job eventually. Okay, doing something. I am going to have to go back to work. Just I've only been retired not quite a year, and and I got to see what happens once this year ends and what the taxes and all the other weird crap. But yeah, I mean, and if things keep going with the economy the way they are, just can't afford stuff. I have to generate income of some sort somehow. When they're laying everyone off and trying to find a job when you're over 52 and up, yeah, that's a barrel of laughs. Not even, and when you're over 60, it's even more fun. Okay. Lives under the bridge people. We have those people in lower Michigan, trolls, Yoker's rule. You got me with that barrel. But yeah, so who knows? But yeah, election day probably will go live probably in the afternoon, and then it's the day after is going to be the fun one. That's when we're going to see that see it fly then. You know, and then we can do a countdown. We could do a countdown post election day, how many days or whatever it takes them to decide who won. You know, Youpers. Hmm. Yeah, we can do that. It'd be fun. Keep content going. Keep going live. I guess every day is going to be a live broadcast on YouTube while I still can, while I hold out till the end. You know, hold out till the end. Youpers, like uppers. Youpers, Michigan. I don't know. I work with two guys came from Michigan, Flint, Michigan, actually. Uh, Both of them worked in the automotive industry or whatever up there till they got kind of ousted. It's like where I worked in uh, New York. Okay, I mean it's terrible up there. It gets worse. My friend called yesterday. You know, nobody goes downtown because he goes it's just people standing around asking you for money and loitering and homeless people and that. It gets to like negative 27 in the winter. I don't know how you can be homeless up there and living in the streets. You know, Still holding off on building a panic room. Yeah, well, uh, I ain't got that law degree. Yeah, and by not living in a city, I kind of don't even think about that. If I was living in an urban area, that might be an idea. Um, but who knows? Like I said, we'll wait and see. The year ain't over yet. It ain't over until somebody goes up there and raises their paw. And I guess there's all kinds of schemes and plans to keep that from happening. And it's kind of ridiculous. Even if you do interrupt the inauguration, that's why I say this idea just declare martial law to stop the inauguration. What are you going to just be in martial law forever? Okay. And on that redacted news. I mean, they get into some really wake up. Voter fraud exists. Ex Justice Department, and oh, it's over for Trudeau. CIA running prison camps, the bail-ins where they take your savings to keep the banks. Uh, he's exposing the deep state plan to derail Trump. Putin just issued dire warning to the world. It was 6 days ago. But hell, we got 5 days for him to start World War III. 5 days. Yeah, some of these headlines. That's where I sat down and listened to him talk about how the government controls the weather. It was pretty interesting. I guess they say there's patents on file for doing it. Yeah, anything is possible, in this decade. But got tempted to buy another handgun to test. So we'll see. I have some more content coming up. A lot of people requested doing stuff with the black powder guns, doing stuff with the old mill surplus revolvers, and I did dig the bullets out. I should get them Enfield revolvers out, do another run of that ammo, and get out and shoot them. And maybe some 38 Smith and Wesson in that Spanish copy. I don't know. Days have been hectic. After we did the lawn thing, I've been tasked with, if it wasn't for the fact that the wind's blowing, I'd be out there burning some brush today, this afternoon. But don't want to set the neighborhood on fire. Wife told me, don't do that. I said, okay, okay. Won't do it. But, so, I guess broadcasting on. No, because where those trees were, it's like in between the property lines, and we never used that space. It's kind of like when they built the houses, the developer didn't clear it. Okay, he left it there, so kind of like for privacy or to mark where the lot was. And that was 20 some years ago. And I got pictures when we first moved in here. There was nothing there that was taller than the roof of the house. Now the stuff got up there to about 30 feet or something, all these trees, and they grew weird and they're bent and leaning over. So ice storm or something, you're gonna have problems. Let's see what this is. Here. We'll let my Microsoft assistant answer that one. Yeah, I'm getting swamped with friggin' spam calls trying to sell me death insurance and everything else. Somebody with a yeah, they hung up. Or they even use caller ID saying it's the local hospital group or something calling, Uh, and I'm like, nah, not going to do it. And you get on there, somebody with a foreign accent talking 100 miles an hour, insurance, I said, stop me. You try to make them stop. I don't even know if it's an AI because it's like when you get the computer thing uh, and you say something and then they reply, oh, okay, that weird type of response. And I just started screaming, and the guy didn't, or whatever was talking to me, didn't shut up. And I just hang up on him. See, then they get angry. The computer gets angry and calls your number 100 times during the day. And that's what this is. or whoever got pissed off. Yeah, they don't like it when you hang up on them if you make the mistake of answering. No, so the stumps are there. I think I'm gonna do something to get them to in the police and fire department. Now, what they do with me, the police, they send me a letter and ask me to donate. Because at one time I did, years ago, the volunteer firemen and sheriff's organization. We had a we had a pretty nifty sheriff here in our county. I liked him. Then I guess he died in office. Uh, he used to go on TV to drug bust, and when you went in there, it was pretty neat. It showed this. They had these pictures in the sheriff's office because in this state, before you had your concealed carry, you'd have to go to a clerk in there and get we had what they're called pistol purchasing permits. And all it was is they called in the background check on you and they come out and go, okay, the background check is fine. And you pay them $5 and they give you a slip, which was an automatic, it was a background check. It was a document saying you passed the background check and the sheriff's department would issue it to you. And if you went to a gun show or a store and you wanted to buy a handgun in this state, of course, the laws have changed, you would give them that. And that way they didn't have to call. Okay. You had it in hand. And that's all they'd accept for a handgun permit. Or the state also changed it right when I first moved here back in like 2004 that if you get a concealed carry permit, which you got to renew, I think it's every 4 or 6 years, the state said there's a spot that's on forms when you buy a gun that they fill out and put the number on that permit down there, and that is your instant background check. They don't even call or screw around or nothing. So that's neat. That's basically why I have it because like people are asking, I don't carry a gun on my person all the time. A lot of people here do. Okay, I know several people that do, but like I said, I've never had the need anymore for what I do. It was pretty clear to the post office and everything today. I wasn't nervous. And really, where I live, I guess they said down in that one city that I go down to that's close, there are homeless people, but they live out by a park or something down there in Randleman. But in Greensboro, I guess they have them. When I first moved here, they used to count them. They go out and feed them, and then they keep track of how many were living underneath the bridges or whatever, or wherever it is that they live. And I seen like a little shanty town up. It was right next to the Social Security Administration office building. They're down in by a creek or culvert or something, and they're all living in there, shopping carts and tarps and everything. And he went and flushed them out. Yeah, donating over the phone could be dangerous. Yeah, living at the jail could be kind of depressing. It works there. Be like living in the machine shop that I work in. Ain't really a barrel of laughs. But that's where we're at. All right, then, gentlemen. Uh, really, nothing else in the conversation. will probably keep the lives going now that I gotten into the habit. Because I'm not quite sure how long I've been doing this. Um, 20 years ago. Hmm. Uh, but we still get a good turnout, 24 people or something. It's a little bit higher than what they were. So, that's building up again for me whenever I have a live broadcast. Uh, but really running out of things to do other than some wild ass conspiracy theories and that to discuss, and you know voter fraud and all this other stuff, and kind of gets old, guys. That's why I got to get out and make some more content with some firearms, get outside in the nice fall weather and get some shooting done. you know but an hour, I'm going to get to back to doing my things. So I'd like to thank you all for coming in. We'll keep the countdown going, and probably we will go live sometime on election day. It won't be early in the morning or probably before noon, because I don't really know when they'll start getting on the tube and going crazy. It might be a little bit later. Depends what I got to do, but I should know on the last day before election day what I'm going to do, what my schedule will be. So again, thank you all for showing up. I'm glad you came. I mean, there's more and more people showing up each time, and it's been fun. I'll see you fellows tomorrow.